Challenges arise when we're in business. Challenges arise when we're trying to manifest and we don't know where to start. And yet, the answer has always been there. Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to use intuition to solve problems and manifest business clarity. Believe it or not, the answer is always there. It's right there. But what we see are the challenges we're facing. And then we're like, I don't know how to think my way through this. I can't see my way through this. When the real answer is our intuition. Hey everyone, it's Acacia, the CEO Legal Coach, and this is the Aligned Business Series where we go live 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, where we talk about real stories, real business challenges, and what you can do to get yourself where you want to be in your life and your business. And we also answer all of your questions. So if you want to find your chat button, go ahead and start commenting in there. I see some of you in there. Good morning. Hey, loves. Hey, Mary. Hey, Mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to answer all of your questions, right? This is for you. This is for you. So go ahead and find your chat button. I'm going to get in there. But how to use your intuition to solve problems and manifest business clarity. So let's take a moment for a second. Where would we even use this? When would we even need this, right? Well, we're trying to solve a problem. Think of all the problems you have in your life right now. You can probably think of a few, right? You might have some in your business. You might have some with your teammates. You might have some with your spouse or in your romantic relationships, maybe with your kids, all these different areas. Maybe it's money problems, whatever it is. And we sit there and we're like, well, I've got to figure this out. I have to figure that out and all this stuff because we have been taught to set a plan. Set your career goals, set a goal, and you work to make that happen. And the thing about manifesting, you probably have heard, is you set your goal, you set your intention, but the work is not what we expect it to be. We shouldn't be forcing things. We shouldn't be over planning. We shouldn't even be doing most of the heavy lifting. But every now and then, we need to take an action. We are spiritual beings that are having a physical body, a physical moment here, and we get to have this experience. And what ends up happening so many times in business is that we sit there and we try to use our physical being to solve a larger problem. Because where does the problem come from? The problem is the way we're interpreting our spouse, our business, something else, right? So everything has its own energy. Everything has its own energy, and you do too. And what's happening with your physical being here is one, it's interpreting that. It's interpreting this as a problem. Is it actually a problem? Is it actually a problem? So first, our physical being is interpreting this as a problem. The other thing is the physical being might not even be applying or putting the right label on it. And I don't just mean like a problem. Sorry, guys, I have like allergies today. Oh, fall allergies. Anybody else have that? Oh God, it's killing my eyes. But it's not just that. Your brain might actually be seeing the situation wrong. And I shouldn't even say wrong. I should say there's another way to look at it. Because the way our brains work is it's learn to think, apply, analyze based on what is already seen. Based on what has already seen. So you can't think your way into the future because your brain hasn't seen the future. But your brain has learned how to tie a shoe. Your brain has learned how to create habits and processes to help you not have to think how to stand every time you need to stand, because you wouldn't get very far in life if you're still wondering how to stand up. But that means the brain just starts going down these same channels over and over and over again. It's going down these same channels over and over again, not realizing there's other routes it could take. So I love this one. The author, her name's Gina, I'm blanking on her last name, author of The Audacity to Be Queen, great book. And she talks about how she was really frustrated with one of her employees, like super frustrated. And then layers just kept on coming. And she was like, I want to scream. And then the person, her employee, sent her something that was going to go out to the clients. And she was like, trying to steal my clients. Like, what the hell? You're trying to interfere with my business. This is not cool. Well, she decided to not be that person to her employee and instead say, is there another way I can look at this? Gabby Bernstein says, I choose to see this differently, is the way she phrases it. I choose to see it differently. And when we stop to see it differently, we realize something else might be going on. It turns out Gina's employee was just trying to do her job the best she could. And then the part that Gina thought was the tipping point actually didn't even come from that employee. It came from a different employee. It came from somebody else. But it got delivered through the frustrating employee. And it turns out she actually had a phenomenal employee who was really there to support her. But Gina had a bad employee in the past. And so she assumed the same type of behaviors or outcomes that she was seeing meant that there was still the same reason why from the other person. The other person's reason why might be different. Now, how does all this come into solving our problems, right? We want to talk about intuition here. So far we've talked about how it's our habit, our physical being's way of thinking through the problem. It's trying to identify the problem. It's trying to label what's going on. It's trying to predict how we got here and then see its way through all that. Again, those are all layers in the past. And you're not trying to repeat your past. You're trying to create an amazing future. So let's walk through 3 different ways that we could use our intuition. Now, if you don't know what intuition is, what your intuition is the voice inside of you. It's your little spiritual compass. It is your spiritual compass. Now, what's really challenging for many of us, and I was definitely in this camp, is there were so many other thought processes and voices inside of me that I didn't hear the intuition. So I had to kind of get those other voices out of the way, realizing, oh, that's really my dad's voice yelling at me, not me or my intuition. Oh, that's really something I remember from my teachers. That's not this or that. So first thing I had to do was remove the noise. Remove the noise. And then when I removed the noise, I could start to not only hear my intuition, I could feel it. I could literally feel it move my body sometimes. And I've actually won slot machine hand payouts because of my intuition, purely over my intuition. It would be, you should go to this machine now. And I'd be like, which machine? It goes, this one. And I'd go over, touch the button like 2 or 3 times, and voila, thousands of dollars pop out. Like that. I'm not sitting there playing the machine. It brought me to the machine. It said, now is the time to play this machine. This is the one that's going to manifest the money you've been asking. Whoa. So that's the power of getting into there, to quieting the brain and getting to the other voice inside of you, is it has spiritual answers. Unlike your brain, which can only think to what it's seen or what it's exposed to or learned, your spiritual answers are connected to all things energy. Everything is energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. And energy has been around from the beginning of time. And it's going to keep on going. It goes out into the heavens. It goes on to the other galaxy. It goes on to things we don't know about. My table and my microphone right now, they're energy. This wall, this canvas, this plant, it's all energy. My arm is energy. Who I am, this physical being, is energy. And our intuition can connect beyond our physical being. It can use the energy from everywhere else in the universe, including other people's thoughts and ideas. It can help us understand them. It can help us know which way to act or go. It can help us know which jackpot slot machine is about to go off. It can give you the answers of where to post that social media post or how to phrase that. One of my favorite things to use my intuition for is when I have to write something, when I have to draft something. I have a lot of it, right? Being a contracts attorney and being in the corporate space 7 years before I went to law school, I can write. I really know how to write, but sometimes it feels like work. So I let my intuition be my guide instead. And I trust that if I've been called to write this, the answer is in my soul to do it. Those words are in there. And so that's what we do, is we tune into everything else. The one that wants to create through you. And if you believe in God or whatever higher being, you were created in that image. You were created in that, and you have a purpose, you have a calling. And if you've learned in Genesis, the first book of the Bible, God created the heavens and the earth, right? The energy was created. It's created all of these things. It's created everything, even the traffic that we sit in, but it's the roads and the cars that we're sitting on as well. So this energy is really amazing, and it wants to create through you. You're a being, a physical being, a lot of power. You have the mental power, you have the heart space power, you have the physical power, and you have this energetic power. These are your superpowers. And so when we tap into that, we can tap into answers beyond who we are, beyond where we are. And yet they're still existing on the energetic plane. They still exist. That's why they're there. And that's why you can tap into them. So this is the potency and what intuition is. So, okay, what do I do whenever I have a challenge? First things, we're going to go through 3 of them. One is I like to just visualize what I'm trying to call in. And then when I'm in that space, be like, am I inspired to do anything? Am I inspired to do anything? Is there anything that I'm being called energetically, never mind what my brain says, energetically to go do? That already right there is going to lead me. That is my compass saying this is the direction to go to succeed. So our brain has been looking at the problems. Your intuition wants to succeed. It doesn't care about problems. It doesn't see problems. It doesn't know what a problem is. It is energy. So it doesn't see the problem. It goes, this is the direction to succeed. And you just go that way. But let's say you've done that. You're like, okay, now we're at a new challenge. And a business challenge I had was trying to get videos to post on social media. I love making videos. I feel my energy and my vibes come out better, and that my audience, you, get to connect with me and know me better through that. And so that's what I wanted to create. But I was having such a hard time getting ones that I felt inspired to write, say them, and then edit them, and then post them. So I was maybe on a good week getting 3 done. 3. Which meant I was probably getting about 5 done a month. It was not happening. And I was like, my audience needs more. They deserve more answers. They deserve more access to things. What can I do? I know that part of building my business is going to be part of these videos. What do I do? So what I did is, I love this. Remember, our brain is looking forward, trying to figure out how to do something forward. Brain doesn't know forward. Brain only knows back. So what can I do for this problem to be in the past? What can I do right now to have this problem to be in the past? 2 things. One, you can say, well, what if I did know the answer? What if I did know the answer? But what I chose to do in that moment is I said, I know somebody who does know the answer. I know somebody who this problem is in their past. Let me go ask her. So what I did is I jumped into a visualization, and I went into the physical and feeling space, all those things you do in a visualization exercise of future me. I went up to her and I was like, hey, you've clearly been successful. You've clearly accomplished this. What did you do? And she came up and told me a crazy idea I promise you my brain would never have done. And now it's batching, and batching is nothing new, but it was the way it was, because it was a way that inspired me to take bigger action and get more done. It was insane. I got more done in 2 days than I had done in the past 3 months, because I asked somebody who this problem was for them in the past. To me, I'm facing this problem right now. It's in my future. This is what's happening. What do? I asked somebody who's already been through this. Future me has already been through this. She has the answer. I went to her. She gave me an amazing answer. Love that answer from her. Okay. So I call that hindsight is 2020. Now, the next one is just stop in the moment and ask. Stop in the moment and ask. And this is one where I was at I was out to dinner with some friends, and everyone wanted to go to the casino floor after. And I was like, I don't know if I feel this place. It's just kind of like not really my vibe, but everyone wanted to play, and I'll come along. So I was kind of like, I'm not really feeling it. Let me ask my intuition if there's any machine that is going to at least let me stay even or win any money. And so I just asked, is that going to happen here? And my intuition goes, no. I was like, oh, okay. And then eventually it was like, there is this machine over here. I was like, well, I gotta go to the restroom first. I come back, somebody was at the machine. Sure enough, I gave him like $30. I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. Okay. So I chose not to play. And as the night continued, I just kept playing with my intuition. And eventually I asked it, like, will you please guide me, physically guide me to the next machine that is gonna have some level of payout? Do you know what it did? It walked me out the front door. This is not even the door we came in. And I'd never been to this place. I didn't know that's where the door was. My intuition literally walked me out the door. It said, this is not the place for you. I said, oh, thank you. All I did was ask. I stopped trying to figure out and feel my way into it. Instead, I asked my intuition. What's going on here? What can we do? How do we take care of this? Okay. So this is why it's so important to use our intuition to solve problems, particularly in business. Because in business, we're trying to force things. We're trying to build things. We're trying to plan things. We're trying to get certain outcomes. And that can feel very masculine energies. Everyone has female and masculine energies. It's not a gender or sex thing. Everyone has those. And our masculine is the get it done, get it, win, get in there, solve the problem. Little bit, too much of it can be controlling. Where the female energies are, let's nurture things. Let's get creative. Let's use the intuition. Let's use the other side. And so successful business and successful life, you're actually going to try to balance both of them. And like I said, in business, when I have my business clients, so many of them are so used to the masculine approach, even the females, and that we forget there's a whole other set of tools we have within all of us that can really do all of that for us. All right, let's get into these questions. I see them there. What do we got? Hello. Hey, loves. How are you? Oh, it's so good. I'm glad you're liking this. Your intuition. Yeah, yes, exactly. It's incredible what your intuition can do for you. Yeah, I love that it's worked out really well for you. But yes, you don't want to overdo it. You do need to balance. Okay, so what is a quick practice to tune in when I feel stuck? A quick practice. The thing is, you're stuck because you're trying to force yourself through an energetic plane, right? Usually mentally or physically. So stop fighting. Take a moment and be like, you know what? This don't feel right to me. This doesn't make me happy. This doesn't make me feel thrilled. I'm going to stop right here, right now. So take that moment and stop. And instead tune in to your other tools, like your intuition, and ask it. And usually, not always, but usually your soul, your intuition comes from somewhere in the center of your body. Because your soul is actually larger than your body. You can't really see that in my thing, but like if this is your body, your soul is here, right? Our soul is not something in the body is something within the soul. So there's more of you. And I want you to tune into all of those other pieces of you. Tune into them, feel into them. See if they have an opinion. See if they have something to say here. Give them the chance to communicate with you and go from there. So the biggest thing is in the moment, just kind of stop. Because I feel exhausted. This feels tough. This isn't working out. Don't, actually I told this to my mom on a cruise recently. I was like, Mom, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and we're expecting a different result. Even though the problem or the challenge or the point in time might be different, doing the same thing over and over again is still going to get you the same old results that are unsatisfactory, not happy, not thriving. Where intuition, it only knows how to succeed. Intuition does not see problems. It doesn't. It's soul energy. It only can move forward. Can intuition help me with timing, like when to launch or pivot? Absolutely it can, love. Absolutely it can. Okay, so if you have like a launch or something going on, what you want to do is feel into the person who has a successful launch, right? You're probably trying to think and plan based on what you've either learned from a coach, what you've learned from the internet or somebody else, or maybe you've done one before. Maybe you've had a launch before and you're trying to repeat the same things. Okay. Repeating the same thing that somebody else has had success on can feel comforting because it can build confidence knowing that these types of actions lead to a certain outcome. But they are repeating something in the past. They're repeating somebody else's work. They're repeating somebody else's energetic state at a different point in time. This launch is your launch. So what does your intuition call you to do? So what I like to do sometimes is I might write down everything I know. All right, here's the steps I want to take. Here's how I want it to be. Here's the audience. Here's all these things. And then I'll stop and be like, what is going to make this successful? And feel into that. Ask my intuition. Or if something doesn't feel right, something about the plan's off. I don't get it. What's going on? I will feel into my intuition and it'll tell me what's wrong with the plan. Oh, that's what's wrong with the plan. Because again, your mind can only think so far. It can only do so much. But your mind is literally stuck in here. And your soul is everything else. It's all around you. So let's use those other feelers to get into the energetic states around you and get those answers. So they're a great way to combine them by making sure that you're not sticking so hard to the plan and forcing an outcome, forcing expectations. Remember, your intuition cannot fail, but that doesn't mean it's going to meet your deadline or the way you expected it to be. When we ask to manifest something, it doesn't always show up how we expect it to happen. So be mindful that your mind might be setting up these expectations and letting your heart space, your intuition know that it's okay if we go beyond this. It's okay to know that we're on the right track, even if it doesn't show up the way we wanted on the timeline we expected. Okay. How do I rebuild my trust in my intuition after ignoring it in the past? Oh, I did the same. I did. I grew up with such like masculine energies that I didn't really tune into all those things. I was tuning it out. I was silencing it. Shut up, go away. I know better. This is the way, this is how we do that. And that kind of sucked, right? So it's almost like a family member that you haven't been talking with. You haven't been acknowledging. Nobody wants to be ignored or, neglected. So just start asking it. Just start asking, like, hey, we haven't connected in a while. I wanted to say I'm sorry. And I want you to know I do love you and I value and I appreciate you and I want to work on our relationship. And when you do that, sometimes within seconds, it just comes right back to life. Other times it takes a few days. I've had some that took a few days. I had to really have a conversation with them to get them up and out and back part of the crowd. The other thing that you might want to work on is find out what was blocking you and work to heal that. If you have a voice in their head that's screaming all the time, well, okay, let's calm that down. Let's make that feel safe and comfortable so that they both can be present on the same plane, on the same energetic frequency of love, of doing what you love, how you love it, and being in alignment to that. So rebuilding is nothing more than practice versus making the decision to do it. And your decision is already 80% of the way there. So just take those few moments, tap into it, reconnect with it, and ask it, what can I do to hear you more? What can I do to practice being there with you as if you were sitting down with a child, and listen to it, hear what it says, and acknowledge any errors you've made so that you can forgive each other and love each other and have a great relationship again. It's just a matter of practice. Okay, I think I saw a few more come in. Sujancito, what's up? How are you? Thank you. Loving the love. Can intuition really help with business decisions, or is that too woo-woo? Woo-woo. I love it. I think Jen Sincero uses that phrase, woo-woo. Of course it can help you with business decisions. Of course it can. Just like we've talked about, the idea that your mind can only think is based on what it has already seen or knows, what it's been exposed to, where your intuition is what everything is happening on the plane, things your brain is not aware of. And a business decision is just, like I said, sometimes when I'm doing a launch or something, I will plan it out. Like, here's what feels right. And then, and thinks right. And then I'll look at it and I'll be feeling it. Like, does this really feel, does this plan have the same vibes as what I'm trying to get, as what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to become? Or like I said, when I had the batching problem, I couldn't figure out how to get more content. I asked future me, I tapped into her, asked her, because she's already done this. She's the person on stage. She's the person who's built the business. She's the person with 8 figures in her bank account. Let me ask her what she did here, because she's already done this. She's through it. And then I got my answer like that. And it was an answer that was aligned to me. But the big thing is we want to turn the brain off. We want to turn the volume down a little bit. The brain matters. The brain is what keeps us from touching the hot stove and running into traffic and jumping off cliffs without parachutes. But like, there's a balance. We want a holistic, aligned approach. When we say aligned, we want your mind aligned. We want your heart aligned. We want your soul aligned, right? You're manifesting with it. And we want your body alignment. We want all these things acting together, being in alignment, wanting the same thing, feeling into the thing the same way so that we can take action and be there quickly and soon. All right, loves. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you next week. We're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to talk just a few sessions on the idea of You like when you get let go from a company, when you have a severance check or something like that, that's really big right now. And I've had so many friends and family ask me questions that I thought I would put together just a few pieces for that. So if you know anybody who's going through any of those challenges, we're going to talk about that. They're also going to be helpful for you as a business owner because in the event you ever have to make these types of decisions, you're going to have an idea of what to help be a better employer, even though you're letting employees go, how to do this better. All right. I will see you all later. Bye.